Imagine walking into a pawn shop with a box of old family treasures, only to find out one of them could get you arrested. That's exactly what happens in the wild world of Pawn Stars, where what seems like harmless history sometimes turns out to be federal contraband. Over the years, the show has showcased some truly bizarre items, but a few stand out not just for their rarity, but for their shocking illegality. We're talking about a counterfeit $10 bill linked to a U.S. Attorney General, a hidden gun built into a desk, and even a guitar made from banned tortoiseshell. And that's not all. A spy camera with a scratched serial number, a championship ring with its identity erased, illegal drug tax stamps, a Moonshine still, a cheating device from the 1920s, and a deadly automatic knife. These are the 9 most shocking illegal items ever brought into Pawn Stars. Which one do you think is the most shocking? Let us know in the comments. And now, let's dive into these unbelievable stories. Counterfeit $10 bill linked to U.S. Attorney General J. Howard McGrath. When a man brought in memorabilia tied to J. Howard McGrath, a former U.S. Attorney General, one item raised red flags: a torn $10 bill. Rick noticed the bill lacked the silk threads found in real currency. An expert confirmed it was counterfeit. Even as a souvenir, the bill was illegal to own under federal law. Ironically, the Secret Service, created to stop counterfeit money, would be the ones to take it. Rick had no choice but to turn it over. The hidden gun desk disguised as furniture. A woman brought in a small antique desk she picked up at an estate sale. What she didn't know was it could fire a real bullet. When the inkwell was pressed, a small gun inside would discharge through a hidden panel. Rick was stunned. It was both genius and dangerous. Because its origin date was unclear, the desk's legality was in question. Antique guns before 1898 are exempt, but newer ones must be registered. Without proof of age, Rick couldn't legally buy it until it was disabled. The spy camera with a scratched-off serial number. This tiny 1950s German Minix camera looked innocent, but a closer look revealed something troubling. Its serial number had been deliberately scratched off, a major red flag in the pawn world. Items without identification could be stolen property. Even though it came from a military family and had collector value, Rick couldn't take the risk. Selling or possessing an item with defaced serials is illegal. No matter how cool it was, it had to be turned away. Penn State Championship ring with erased engraving. A bold symbol of football victory from the 1973 Orange Bowl walked into the shop, until Rick noticed its fatal flaw. The ring's engraving, which identified the player, had been removed. That made it impossible to confirm rightful ownership. This erasure made the ring untouchable under law, just like a car without a VIN. Even though it had real value, Rick knew the legal risk was too high. He declined the purchase, following the letter of the law. The tortoiseshell guitar made from endangered species. At first glance, the guitar was breathtaking. Its shell shimmered in warm amber tones. But its beauty came with a dark legal risk. It was made from real tortoiseshell, banned under international law since 1975. Owning or selling it could lead to heavy fines or even jail time. Rick's guitar expert confirmed it likely dated after the ban, making it illegal to trade. Though highly valuable, Rick passed on the deal. The risk of violating wildlife protection laws was far too great. North Dakota illegal drug tax stamps. They looked like colorful postage stamps, but their purpose was bizarre. They were meant to tax illegal drugs. In 1989, North Dakota tried to require drug dealers to buy and affix these stamps. The idea? Tax illegal substances without legalizing them. Of course, no criminal was going to self-report just to pay tax. The law failed miserably, but the stamps became rare collectibles. Rick offered a modest price. These weren't dangerous anymore, just oddly historic. The Moonshine still used for illegal liquor. A copper still showed up at the pawn shop, once used to brew illegal moonshine. Though it wasn't functional anymore, it symbolized an era of risky, tax-free liquor making. Moonshining wasn't just illegal, it was dangerous, even toxic. The still seller grabbed it at a yard sale for $50. Rick offered $150 but made it clear, had it been working, it could have triggered serious legal trouble. Even relics like this walk the line between history and hazard. The poker cheat card holdout device. This mechanical rig looked innocent but had a sneaky past. It was used to cheat in poker games a century ago. Hidden under sleeves, it could steal and return cards with a flick of the knees. The term "nothing up my sleeve" suddenly made sense. Passed down through generations, it traced back to a con man forced to make these devices for criminals. Though illegal in its heyday, today it's a rare collectible. Rick paid $900, knowing it would likely end up in a museum. The automatic knife/switchblade with legal gray zones. It looked like a regular pocket knife, until a button made the blade snap out with force. These switchblades and gravity knives became popular with gangs in the 50s, prompting strict laws. In many states, carrying them is still illegal. What made them even trickier is the patchwork of state and federal rules. Even mailing one across state lines can be a crime. Rick knew the danger wasn't just in the blade, but in the law behind it. Every item in this episode may have seemed like a piece of history, but each one came with hidden danger. From weapons disguised as desks to banned materials and erased identities, they weren't just rare, they were legally explosive. One wrong move could mean fines, prison, or worse. It's a sharp reminder that not everything old is safe, and that sometimes the most fascinating stories come with serious consequences. Rick's decisions weren't just about money, they were about staying out of trouble. And in the pawn world, that can be the biggest gamble of all.
So what do you think?
Would you risk owning any of these illegal treasures for the right price? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable stories from the world of pawn.